Everyone thought my 8.5-pound dog was a baby kangaroo. The first time someone stopped me on a sidewalk in Seattle and said, "Wait, is that a dog or a tiny kangaroo?" I laughed so hard I almost dropped her leash. Then it happened again and again. At this point, I'm used to it. This is Nori. She has long, skinny legs, a tiny, deer-like face, and a way of moving that doesn't really make sense until you see it. When she runs, it's not exactly running. It's more like she gets launched across the room. Most mornings, I wake up because she's already moving under the blankets. I'll barely have my eyes open, and she's ready to start the day at full speed. But she wasn't always like that. Before Nori came to us, she had been adopted to be a companion for a Chihuahua. It sounded like it should work. Two small dogs, one home. Maybe they'd keep each other company. But the Chihuahua wanted nothing to do with her, and Nori probably came in way too excited, ready to play and become best friends immediately. It just wasn't the right fit. Her owner had really tried. You could tell. When we picked Nori up, all her things were packed carefully. Toys, blanket, instructions, everything. She kept petting Nori's ears while we stood there, and it was hard to watch. It didn't feel like someone who didn't care. It felt like someone who loved her enough to admit this wasn't working. When Nori walked into our apartment that first day, she didn't bounce around. She didn't bark. She didn't act silly. She just stood near the doorway with her tail tucked, looking around like she was trying to figure out if this place was safe. For the first few days, she mostly watched us from a distance. I'd sit on the floor with a toy and talk to her quietly. Sometimes she'd take one little step toward me, then change her mind and back up again. Then, after a couple of weeks, we started seeing the real Nori. First she discovered the hallway, then the couch. Then she discovered that sprinting from the kitchen to the living room for no reason at all was apparently her life's purpose. One second she'd be next to me, and the next she'd be flying past the window with her ears up and her legs going everywhere. More than once, I've been on a work call and had to stop myself from laughing because she was doing something ridiculous behind the laptop. Eventually, I stopped trying to explain her. Nori is just Nori. Then there's Lee, my roommate's dog. He's about 38 pounds, which means that in Nori's mind, he is a brother, a wrestling partner, a pillow, and sometimes just furniture. The first time she climbed on top of him, Lee froze and looked at me like he was waiting for someone to step in. Nori made herself comfortable. Lee sighed and let it happen. That's pretty much their relationship now. Nori causes chaos. Lee supervises. Sometimes he joins in. Sometimes he just stands there looking tired while she bounces around him in circles. She follows him from room to room, steals his spot, curls up under his chin, and invites him into games he never agreed to play. I've tried to be annoyed by her. I really have. But then she pops out from under a blanket with her hair sticking up, or does one of those little kangaroo hops across the rug, and I'm laughing before I've even had coffee. Nori didn't come to us because everything had gone perfectly. She came because someone made a painful but loving choice. And now this tiny, strange, spring-loaded little dog fills our home with noise, movement, warmth, and a lot more laughter than we expected. People still ask if she's a baby kangaroo. Honestly, I get it.